Hello listeners and fellow Game Pass fans, get yourself set and ready for your favourite unofficial Game Pass podcast, Game Pass News. So I'll hand you over to Nick and Sean and get the show started.
Welcome to Game Pass News, recorded live Thursday, August 10th. I'm Nintendo. My co-host Sean Abbott and I are about to fill your brain with all this week's bits and bobs of Xbox, like a wild Quake 2 approaches out of nowhere, kind of rumored, but pretty much out of nowhere. Does Xbox need a controller shakeup? Well, we'll tell you. 3 weeks from Starfield, for those with early access, folks. And all the games coming to Game Pass. You better sit down, buckle up, because Game Pass News is one crazy ride.
Let's look at the funk.
We all be funky up in here. What's up, Sean? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Busy day. Been out on the mountain bike with a couple of guys from work, which has been fun. No major dramas. Flat tire and a couple of chains that fell off. But yeah, I say a couple of chains. My chains fell off twice. Because the realization of I kept losing gears and then it get tangled up in itself, and then I got really mad. And then like the second time it happened, I was like, the back wheel feels a little bit loose. I hadn't tightened the back wheel up properly.
Oh no!
The only thing that was holding the back wheel in is the fact that the pin that holds it goes right through the wheel, and the fact that I was sat on the bike. They were the only two reasons.
My butt is what was keeping the wheel to the bike.
my body weight was keeping the back wheel there, so that was fun to learn. But yeah, other than that, pretty good. How about you, good sir?
It's a good week overall. The wifey's getting ready to go back to school. She teaches, so school counselor. So she's so that's what she is right now. She's at kindergarten roundup. I've never been, but it sounds like a fun time. They're rounding up kindergartners, I guess. I don't know.
Large rope and a lot of candy. Come here.
That's right.
Gotcha.
So I hope she's tallying a lot of them or whatever, lassoing a lot of them. I don't know what you do. I don't know. I'm not a rodeo person. So she's at kindergarten roundup. My kids go back in a week-ish. Week 10 days, something like that. So school's getting back in, which means I'll be able to live stream in the morning again, and life is good up in here. So I have no problem with any of that. So I mowed 2 yards today, and my allergies are letting me know I did. So excuse me if I snot all over the camera. I will try to shut my mic off first. So that's all I can offer.
Yeah, I mean, is that? I don't know. Is there something you can take prior to mowing the lawns, or is it just kind of just forget?
Totally could, but I am too dumb to do that.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, not that you don't need. Jesus Christ, you're not too dumb to do that. But I completely understand it. Someone else, I need to mow the lawn, and then you just go and do it. So, yeah.
I love how you're like, fair enough.
Just totally need to take my own foot out of my mouth.
No, it's fine. That was the best. This is the best free chat I've had in a long time. I take Claritin usually, which is a great. No, but really, like I say that in jest, but I've never really thought, to be honest, to be like, maybe I should take it before I go mow. Instead, I'm always like, let me mow and see if I have allergies. Oh, I did. I guess I'll take one.
They're still there from last time.
Yeah, they're still around. Who would have thought? I'm going to give that a go. Sean, that's a really good idea. I've learned something. Let's end this thing right now. It can't get any better than it has already. That's my life, and that's my day, and there you go. Oh man, I don't know. Anything else before we jump into to Game Pass headlines?
No. I'd say I'd give an update of what the kids have been up to, but I haven't been at home to do that. So
whatever the kids are doing, haven't been around, and I don't know. So there you go. All right. Well, Game Pass headlines it is then, my friend. It has been a busy week for Game Pass, for sure. Starting with 8.3, A Short Hike. You said you were somewhat interested, I thought. Did you get to it at all? Know anything about it?
I didn't. We did. Well, I had a very quiet weekend. I had it lined up on the dashboard, and then the quiet weekend didn't really stay a quiet weekend.
Yeah, and then it blew up.
Entertaining children. We went across and
Mhm.
saw like Lindsay's grandma and her dad and stuff. So we
I
kind
get
of
that.
So no, I didn't get around to it. I do want to get around to it
Mhm.
because a lot of people have enjoyed it. I think so.
Yeah.
That is something I want to get to.
If you don't know, it's a hike and climb and soar through a peaceful mountainside landscapes of Hawk Peak Provincial Park. Follow the marked trails or explore the backcountry as you make your way up the summit. So it is, as it says it is, a short hike. So it's about a 3 to 4 hour game, I think it took me. But you do a lot of fun stuff. Like they're shaking it up all the time. It's not just like, oh, I'm walking up a hill. Like you're riding a boat, you're in a volleyball contest. It's just craziness and it's fun. So check it out.
Check it out. And then 8.8, we saw Broforce Forever come. A lot of people seem really excited about this as well. And it's when I've looked at the gameplay footage and and YouTube videos of this, because that's basically all I've been able to do while I'm at work. It's not what I expected either. I mean, the music is pretty good for it, but it's like a 2D pixelated scroller, and it looks very run and gun style gameplay. But yeah, it looks absolute madness.
Yeah.
I mean, the description for it is it's an action-packed side-scrolling run and gun. So everything I just said there is in the first line.
He's right on.
So putting you in control of an underfunded, overpowered paramilitary organization dealing exclusively in excessive force. Included is the long-awaited Broforce Forever content, which offers improved and expanded campaign with new unlocks, along with 6 new ultra patriotic bros and 4 new democracy spreading challenge levels. So not only is it that we're getting Broforce, the game, but we're also getting the Forever bits and pieces of all the Game Pass, which has been nice.
Also, if you don't follow our Twitter, you should, because it was one of my favorite little back and forths that Sean and I had. I was like, "Who's your bro forever, Sean? Let's go!" And he's like, "I'm busy," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Did I completely? Oh dear.
It was really good. It was really good.
I should really turn on the notifications for Twitter.
That's Broforce Forever, which, by the way, it lands on the best date ever for Sean and I, because no matter how you put it, we get it right. It doesn't matter, UK, US, baby, it's 8/8. It's right no matter what. So, Limbo Everywhere, August 9th. Welcome back, my friend, an award-winning indie adventure, critically acclaimed for its captivating puzzle design and immersive sound and visuals. If you want to see something funny, go to our YouTube page, and you will see me die a bazillion times in 1 hour, because I did a death counter for this, and it was fun. And it was actually, I beat this game, it was pretty great, and yeah, go take a look at that, or just go play it. Again, another short game. This is a week of short games, but games that are really good.
A long week of short games.
Oh, I love it.
So yesterday, well, I say yesterday. It's pinned to have dropped this morning to afternoon for the UK, but you seem to have it yesterday evening at like 9:30 at night. But that is Airborne Kingdom, which is the next in your quest of city building simulators and management games, where you grow a unique town among the clouds and fly across an open landscape. So this is the game that we talked about last week that could challenge the Wandering Village.
The crazy thing is, Sean, it's so close. It like, I mean, I haven't played it yet. I wanted to get to it so I could talk about it more intellectually, but I can't. But it sounds so close to Wandering Village. I mean, Wandering Village, you're up in the air on the back of a beast, and he walks around. I've like watched the videos of this. You're up in a plane and you're flying around from trying to like get this region to come together. So it's fun. Like they're very different, but also like the hook seems so similar. So it's pretty funny. Yep. Everspace 2 out on cloud and Xbox Series X and S only. Don't see that a lot. This is actually not out yet. Coming out next week, August 15th, which I believe is Tuesday. Yes, it is. Available. Oh, it's available now on PC. But step into the pilot seat in this fast-paced single-player space shooter where brutal challenges stand between you and epic loot. Embark on a sci-fi adventure where massive handcrafted areas are packed with secrets, puzzles, and perils.
Shall I loop back to the other game that dropped today as well then?
Yes. Oh, that's a great point. Well, actually, it's good that you did that because you've got a few seconds and it's much closer to your heart than it is for me. So yeah, loop back to what the surprise.
So yeah, we got a very nice surprise drop. I think it was rumored to be appearing, and then we've had QuakeCon this week. Well, tonight it's literally just finished. It was a 5-long stream where they showed gameplay for this, and they announced that it is now available on Game Pass, and that is Quake 2, the remastered version of. I've played some of it this evening. It looks great and it plays really well. They've got a lot of accessibility updates, so you can change the text, you can remove the head bob, you can add and remove motion blur. There's lots of stuff you can do with it to make it more playable for people that like suffer with FPS style games. But if you ever played the original, go and give it a try. It's very good.
That's cool. That's cool. You know what? Take the next one next week too, because that's also your baby.
Yep. And then the other game's coming next week. I'm a little excited to try this, but I'm also a little bit more excited that I can tell Jaya that it's there, because I know this is something that she'll probably download straight away. Texas Chainsaw Massacre that is coming day and date with with Game Pass. It's been made by Sumo Nottingham, and it's been published by Gun Interactive. It's a survivally based type game, and I've completely lost the blurb for it that I had. So, but it's an upcoming video. It's an upcoming game based on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. It looks great. The video for it that we saw in which direct was it now? Was it the summer showcase that we saw it?
Probably. I'm sure you're shocked to know this. It did not stick out in my mind, so I'm not sure. I mean, I remember it in something, so probably the showcase. So
it's an asymmetrical horror experience based on the groundbreaking and iconic 1974 horror film. They've not really given away too much about what you're going to be doing in the game. I mean, the video that we saw for it wasn't massively in depth in description. Like, is this a survival horror type game? Are you gonna be solving puzzles? Is it Dead by Daylight style? So I'm excited to see what you actually have to do in the game.
Yeah,
other than not be chopped up by Leatherface.
Yeah, there's a multiplayer mode in this too. Find that interesting. And there's it's coming out to PlayStation as well, and also is available on Xbox One. So coming out PlayStation 4 and 5, Microsoft, so it's on PC through Windows. Yeah, so there you go. Maybe you should do a stream of it, Sean. You should stream it on your Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, I could stream it to Discord, I think, if that feature is there available. So everybody in Discord can watch as well.
Yeah. I don't know if it's available yet. That's a good idea. Let's just do it now. Let's have a meeting. Never mind. Forget the podcast. Let's have a meeting about the next podcast. That sounds great.
Leaving August 15th. We talked about these last week, but Death Stranding is disappearing off PC. Edge of Eternity is disappearing from console, PC, and cloud. Midnight Fight Express, which was an interesting little game to play. That's console, PC, and cloud. And Total War Warhammer 3 is disappearing from PC. As we say every week about these games, you've got your opportunity now for the next 5 days to play these games. If you listen to it by the time you listen to this, it's going to be 2 or 3 days. If you're audio only, if you want to purchase them, do so, because you get the 20% discount with being a Game Pass subscriber.
I like it. Just keep going, Sean. You're doing great. You're just doing great.
And Games with
Knocking it
Gold,
out.
that they changed last week, but I didn't have the list for them. And that is Blue Fire, which is available August 1st through 31st. And I, again, didn't have these up.
And this is it. This is it, folks. These are the last two. The last two games with gold you will ever have in your life. So get them.
Ever. So, which one did I say? Blue Fire. Evil forces have taken over the world of Penumbra. They need a warrior of light and darkness and back on a journey to explore temples filled with 3D platforming challenges, battle wild enemies, and go on side quests. Master the art of movement as you face increasingly challenging void puzzles, unlock the secrets that will save the day. That's Blue Fire. That was an Xbox One game, I believe. It's also enhanced as well for the Xbox
Cool.
One X. So, yep. And then the other one is Inertial Drift, is the way I'd read that. Can you remaster the perfect drift? Drive through a 90s retro future in this arcade racing game that leverages a unique handling model and twin stick drift mechanics. Choose from 16 unique cars across 20 wild tracks to tear through the neon streets, rev up your skills in single player story move, and then prove you're the best in multiplayer. So,
are you interested in picking that one up at all?
I'm intrigued as to what this twin stick drift make.
Sure. Yeah.
Are they machines?
I just wondered because you like that one game. It was like the pixelated game. I can't think of what it's called. Where there was a lot of drifting in that game. Oh yeah, Rally Car? No, it seems too simple. I can't remember. Rally something.
Yeah, I know Tim and I know Marty tried it on the Switch as well. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They were like, "This is difficult," and you're like, "What's the problem? I don't understand. I just beat this in like 5 seconds."
I know it was difficult.
So that, my friends, that is your update on Game Pass headlines for what's coming out this week and what's coming out next week. So without further ado, let's head into our X-Feed top stories. Yo, let me tell you, we are I don't know, the social medias are doing their thing, and everybody's wondering, should Xbox make a new controller with haptic feedback? Now, when you say haptic feedback, are they meaning like where the triggers have like tension to them and stuff like that, like the PlayStation 1 does? Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah, that's basically the big argument when the next gen consoles were coming out was how the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S stacked up against each other. And one of the big points was that the PS5 controller, and even Phil Spencer himself kind of applauded Sony and said, "Well, look what you've done." They did a really good job with the controller. I don't know the full ins and outs and how it feels because I haven't ever used one, but having that gyro style effect that they can have, the the trackpad in the middle, which also acts as a button, the haptic feedback in the triggers and stuff like that, it's all really quite nice to think about.
So when the PS5 first came out, a friend of a friend got one and got Returnal, and I spent like, I don't know, a couple hours down there with those two, and I will tell you, like, I walked out. I was playing. I walked out where it was raining, and it felt pretty darn cool in your hand. I mean, like the Switch talks about having like HD rumble, and you can certainly feel it in certain games. I feel like most games have gone away from it with the Switch now. I mean, it was kind of a bigger thing when it first came out. But like when it felt like it was, you had stuck your hands out the window on a rainy day, and it was just like, and it was like pelting your hands, and that it was pretty cool. Like, so I get that. I think the tension triggers are great. I think that all that stuff is neat. But I also feel like, and I don't know if PlayStation is still using it a ton or not, like games, but I feel like a lot of that stuff is gimmicky and it just falls by the wayside, along with HD Rumble. I mean, how many games do you hear now on the Switch that are like, and it's using HD Rumble to its highest, peak or whatever? I don't know.
I can't even remember a game for the Switch that used its HD Rumble. I don't think I have played one.
So 1-2 Switch used it in the very beginning, and then
Never played that.
And then Mario Party, the first one, Super Mario Party, whatever, that used it, you can kind of roll, like there's this box, and you can roll the controller in your hand and try to feel how many acorns are in it or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so
Okay.
it has been used some, but yeah, to your point, you're right. Like you gotta like go back. Like, remember the game that came out 4.5 years ago? Yeah, that used it. It's like, and so I don't know. I just don't think it's worth it personally.
I do and I don't. I like the immersion. So that the idea of like trying to think of a new Xbox game that plays. Like, could you imagine playing Starfield where you could get that feedback function of like the booster pack that you can use for jumping, or like how different, like the way landing on the different gravities and gravital forces could feel if you could get that feedback through the controller, just for the level of immersion, or like how it'd feel to be controlling the spacecraft as you're like taking off, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And in dogfights, I think that's where it might sit nice. I mean, it's been 4 years since the Elite Series 2 came out, so would you a new controller from Xbox at that level anyway? I mean, I know they roll new controllers out pretty much weekly now that either smell or a nice color. So.
Yeah, they're fuzzy or they smell or they got a jazzy color. Yeah, that's fantastic. Or they look amazing, like my Starfield controller, whatever, But yeah, like, is it neat? It's neat. Am I going to be like, this is what Xbox needs? Nah, it's really not. It's not what Xbox needs, in my opinion. It's something that would be cool to have and be like, hey, look at this. I mean, that was a thing, right? And I don't disagree with the PlayStation fans that are like, our controller does all this stuff, it's better. And I'm like, well, sure, it does those things, and mine doesn't. So yeah, in like specs and what it can do, yeah, I would agree. The PlayStation controller has more abilities than the Xbox and so forth, is better, but I just don't care. Like, it doesn't do anything to move the platform forward. Like what? I don't care about haptics. I'm trying to think about what I want from a controller, and I think the Xbox controller is pretty great. I think the D-pad's amazing on the Xbox controller. I think which is one of the things I love. I mean, it really feels like you got 16 directions on that. I think it fits well. They're doing rubber grips. There's something like, you want to know something if you're like haptics or rubber grips, I'm like, rubber grips, thank you. Let's move to rubber grips. Like, that's what I want. And they're doing that. So that's great. Everybody, like, it's not just an Elite thing now. Everybody gets it. So I think that's fantastic. Yeah, I'm trying to think what I want. Are the controllers on... I was trying to think about this. Are the triggers on the Xbox controller... Like, is it just a one-click thing? You know what I mean? Like, does it have tension to where... Not tension's the wrong word, but can, like if I push it halfway in, will it do... Does that matter? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so if you put... for racing games, if you're like braking, you can feather the brake. So you can do that, and that's more pronounced in the Elite series, where like you can adjust that as well. So you can kind of like you can go in and adjust in the settings in the console, like how much force requires how much, like I don't know, input. That's what I'm looking for.
You know what? If you want to do anything, I'm gonna grab this right now. If you want to do anything, Xbox. I have one right here, Xbox controller. If you want to do anything, Make these 2 fudging white buttons make sense. Instead, right now what I gotta do is I gotta be like, oh yeah, you hit the 2-box button, and yeah, then you gotta hit the hamburger button, and that's how you get to the menu. No, you know what? Switch has got this right. It's a plus and it's a freaking minus. And so I say you hit the plus button or you hit the minus button. I'm with my kids and they're like, Dad, what do I do? I'm like, no, the three line button. You just hit that and that can. No, it's the stupidest in the world. Just
yeah. I
make
still
it
call them
make more
start and
sense.
select. So
You what?
I still call them start and select. So that's like me showing my age because the original Nintendo controllers, you had the 2 menu buttons.
Yeah.
Middle was start and select. So because as soon as I say that, I mean, I probably wouldn't work on the kids because they didn't grow up with start and select. But anybody else, I'm like, just press the start button and they instantly go for the right hand one because it's always been start.
Yeah, select is left, start is right. Yeah, for sure. No, I totally get you. But yeah, just make them have like a more descript like name that you can call them anything. I think it's make one red and blue. I don't care.
Yeah. I think one's menu and one is share.
I thought share was the one at the bottom with the arrow.
What? Oh yeah, there's a button there.
I'm sorry, Sean. That was the best. yeah.
Share's the button there, but all that does, I think, is changes between. Yeah.
Welcome to Xbox 101. Oh yeah, yours doesn't have the box, does it? Doesn't have like
mine just has that. That just changes between, like the profile.
Oh yeah, the share button's new, isn't it? Isn't the share button new with the because that's last? Is that that's not the new Elite, right? Or is that the new Elite? Is that the Elite 2?
That is the Elite Series 2, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know then, man. I don't have an Elite Series 2. I have a share button. I have a share button controller, not an Elite controller. Yeah, so I don't know, man. You got the 2-box, you got that. Like, I don't mean to like totally derail us from haptics, but I would love for them to be red and blue. And that's actually, I just thought of that. That's what I think would be great. Make it like a little red dot and a little blue dot, although that might be a little too close to I don't know, PlayStation-y type stuff. And and then you could like hit the red button, hit the blue button. Man, that'd be so much easier for my kids than like hamburger and box button. It's the stupidest thing. Do that. That's all. They got rubber grips. They got I don't know. And if you put haptics in there, great. That's great. You know, it's kind of like when you get a little extra small thing of fries when you go through McDonald's and you didn't know you're getting them and they accidentally just throw them in there and you're like, oh yes, awesome. You know, it's just nice. I don't need it, but made my day. So that's what I think about haptics.
There's nothing better than getting free fries.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's how I feel about haptics. Anything else on that?
No, I think we pretty much covered it.
I think we beat that one into the ground. My bad. That's on me. Inside Dev reveals crazy discussion with Phil Spencer over Xbox Deal.
See, I read through this article and I'm like, is this like the start of people coming out of the woodwork and be like, well, Phil did this to make sure that they got exclusivity on the Xbox before Sony did, and they kind of cut Sony off at the last minute. So, because I mean, the guy behind Playdead, I think he's called Pati. He literally said, I don't know if he got wind of it somehow about the deal that they were striking with Sony, because this was supposed to be exclusive, like a Sony exclusive to them first before it came anywhere else. And he says, I don't know if he got wind of it somehow. I was sitting one night at 8:00 in my sweatpants, and then the phone rings, displaying an American number, and it's Phil Spencer from Microsoft. It's totally crazy. So like Phil just rang this guy's home number. So it's like, hey, listen, we need to make a deal with you. What do you want? And I was like, well, I've actually made an okay deal. And he goes on to say, no, you don't understand what I'm saying. I can make anything happen. What do you want?
This is the Phil that I always think of in my dreams, Sean. I'm always like, this is how I think Phil works. And I think maybe he actually does work this. Like, I think I just made this persona up in my mind, but maybe this is actually Phil. He's like, listen, I got a check here, and I'm going to give it to you. And you write whatever number you need to write on there to make this thing happen. That's how this works. I mean,
Yeah.
What a great job.
I mean, it came to, I think it went to all the different platforms anyway. But it was released first on the Xbox.
Yeah.
And it did well. It was a great game. I mean, it got a 93 rating on Metacritic. So, and Playdead have gone to make different ones as well. I now can't remember.
Well, he made Limbo, so
yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if this is the kind of stuff that Phil does, and are we going to see more stories of this because of the ABK deal coming to an almost conclusion?
I was thinking we were getting this not as much because of the Activision Blizzard, but because of Square Enix last week, right? Because I mean, Square Enix came out and was like, "Hey, listen, we wouldn't have done this if it wasn't without Phil," and so I wondered if that kind of pushed other devs to be like, "Yeah, we wouldn't have got our thing done if it wasn't for Phil too," because they were like, because Square Enix said something about like Phil showed us so much support, which means Phil showed us a lot of money, So yeah, I had wondered if that's the reason that you started to see some of these other devs be like, yeah, Square said it, so I'll stand up and tell my story too. So that's cool. Phil's just trying to make sure Xbox stays in the game, and he's got the giant Microsoft bank account to do it. So I guess there you go. Anything else on that one?
No, it was only a tidbit that I chucked on the dock, thinking that it had maybe a little bit more depth to it. But then listening to what you say about the Square Enix, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's not bad press that's coming. It's maybe just a continuation of supporting or talking about how Phil supports indie developers and large developers. So.
We have a chatter here, and I gotta stop. I gotta stop right here because I just listened to the Nintendo Dads podcast. And I just want you to know, Mo Spankins, I will say your whole name. Do not worry. I'll say it 2 times, 3 times. Mo Spankins. Just so you know, he's listening to us. He says, "Hey guys, right back at you. Nintendo Dads try to stay family friendly, and so." Justin was going down reading things that the chatters were saying, and Mo Spankin said something, and right after Justin said it, he was like, and so then he just started to call him Mo. Thought it was funny. It really made me laugh.
So what I'm gonna just call him Sir Spankins.
Sir Spankins. Well, thanks for joining us, man. I hope you're having a good night. That's great. Red Dead Redemption hits the Switch. The start of the
Ninix.
What is this? What is this, Sean? You just totally blew my mind. What am I reading? What is Ninix?
Ninix it's with all the deals and everything that Phil had been making regards the ABK stuff. Is this the start of, look, we'll give you some of the games that are on our system or have been on our systems in our backlog capability that will work on your device?
Oh, Nintendo Xbox crossover. Okay.
Yep.
How I read that, the Switch's name before it was the Switch was the NX. And so I read that as like NI, like Nintendo NX, and so I was like, is he talking about like Switch 2? So that's where it threw me off. I did not read it correctly. My bad. That's on me.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, you talked about this earlier and was like, oh, I might, Red Dead's like dropped on the Switch. That's interesting. I might pick that up. So, I mean, looking at the video quality, other than it being a bit darker and a bit, blurred in some aspects when things are moving, it looks like it's doing well. So,
yeah, no, I could see myself picking up Red Dead on the Switch. I mean, I say that, but it's unlikely at this point, only because there's so much other stuff to play, and I really shouldn't pick it up because I dropped Tears of the Kingdom. So if I want to pick any large game up, I should probably just pick Tears of the Kingdom again. So yeah. So what you're saying is this where Xbox and Nintendo start to cross over? If they can get Red Dead, but Red Dead Redemption was a long time ago. It was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, that
right?
was Xbox 360. So
Yeah.
this is where, like, I'm then saying that we stopped seeing games come to games with gold for Xbox 360. Are we going to start seeing games from the Xbox 360 era that didn't make games with gold come out on the Switch, but not at full price?
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it would be great if Xbox and Nintendo worked together for those games. Yeah, I think that'd be fantastic.
I mean, I don't know how much is it on the Switch. I never looked at that. Not typical. The Nintendo website takes age. I mean, £40. So it's
How much can you buy it for on Xbox right now? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
Probably.
Well, you find that out. Mr. Sir Spankins has asked, what do we think of the lack of playable demos for Starfield and Forza at Gamescom, being so close to releasing both games?
That
for me, I think because you've got two rather large games coming from Microsoft's own in-house development, especially with Forza and Bethesda, obviously being one that they have acquired along their way of massive acquisitions, I don't think we're going to see any form of playable content or playable demo content for the general public, and maybe not so much in terms of to be shown off, because I think they're trying to keep things under wraps. They know what they're doing, building the hype. I don't think it speaks any volumes to the game not being ready, but yeah, I think it's the longer they hold it from being played, the more the hype gains. So the more people are likely to, like Nick, to buy the early access.
Yeah. So here's one. There's a couple things here. One, let's just start with Starfield. I don't think Starfield demos well. By the way, you can get it for $30, not as cheap as I thought you'd be able to get it for. I don't think Starfield's going to be a game that you can play for however many minutes you can play a game for at Gamescom and get a real feel for much, right? Two, I think they really want people to be able to. They don't want to spoil anything, and I wonder if that's part of it. I really don't think, I could be proven wrong. I mean, there's always that option. I really agree with you that I don't think it has anything to do with the quality. If I was going to be surprised about anything, I'd be more surprised that they're not showing off a little bit of Forza. Because that seems like a game that demos pretty well. I mean, you put somebody in a car, you let them race one lap around the thing, and they have a good time. And there you go. Like, that just seems much more of an easy demo than Starfield, which is just gigantic game. And what slice of that game do you give them? I mean, you could spend you can't give them to the beginning, right? Because you probably spend the whole first, you'd spend your whole time just probably getting through the intro stuff, not even getting through the intro stuff. So you'd have to set them in the middle of a mission. But then, I mean, I've seen the Starfield controller, and if all the little arrows that come to the other things, there's a lot to learn in a hot second. And so, yeah, I just don't think it demos well. But I am surprised that Forza is not going to be there. But my only thought to that would be, if Forza was there, well, let me go back to Starfield first. If Starfield was there, I think everybody would be in the Starfield line, and nothing else would get any attention in the Xbox, booth. And I think that plays a part. And I don't know I don't know if that's true with Forza. I think you could still have like Stalker 2 and Forza sit next to each other, and people would be glad to try both. Because Stalker 2 does seem to be the game they're pushing, which I'm really excited that that's back. I'm all for it. Um, so yeah, I get that's what I'd say. I'd say I'm more surprised that Forza's not there than Starfield.
Fair enough. I can't think of a reason for Forza other than it's not something they know they can build hype on Forza without a demo. So why do that and then help, especially for the developers and publishers of Stalker 2, give them some time in the spotlight while it's been hardship already. Why use something of your own caliber that's in house that you know you can build hype on externally?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that is the reason that they're like, yeah, this game already has a market, it already has everything it needs. This isn't we don't need any more for that game. We need to show off these other games that people maybe are a little bit unsure about or haven't seen or have been left kind of hanging because of obvious reasons like Stalker 2. And let them see that they're progressing well and that they're moving forward. So that's my thought on that. I really do not think it's because they're like, Starfield's in horrible condition. It's absolute trash. We can't show them. And if I'm wrong, let me tell you, you will hear my full opinion on the week after I get done playing it if I'm wrong, because if they hide the fact that there are serious issues with this game, like they somewhat did with we didn't think the issues were as bad as the reviewers did with Redfall. We did not encounter them the same that reviewers did, but there were certainly issues. But if they try to go the route again of not talking about those issues and just releasing the game, then that team is more dense than I have any ability to speak to, quite frankly. So that's all I can say about that.
Fair enough. And I think that's all we got to say about Red Dead being on the Switch. It is the start of games to come. I hope there is other big names that come there. So thank you very much, Mr. Sir Spankins, for your input there.
Yeah. News bulletins real quick. Bethesda is holding a pre-launch developer Q&A on Starfield next week at Gamescom, correct? Is that correct? Is it Gamescom?
Yes. Okay. It's a Q&A in their official Discord server on August 16th, which then they'll be answering questions. It's 10 a.m. PT, 1 p.m. ET, and 6 p.m. British Standard.
In that official Discord server. That's exciting. I have to look that up.
Oh, yeah, and that's August 16th. So they're set to answer a load of the community questions. This is all over the Bethesda Game Studios Twitter account as well. So it's out there for you to go read and see.
And if you ever needed a thought to whether this game has a ridiculous dedicated following, go join their server, because that server, I pop in there every once in a while. I had to mute the notifications because it was ridiculous. But every once in a while I pop in there just to see. And these people are talking about did you see the foot on the one spacecraft on minute 345 of the one? I mean, dude, and I mean, it just rolls continuously. I mean, that Discord is nuts. They have, if you don't think Starfield has a following, then you are crazy. Let me tell you. Go to that Discord and you will see it all. So good on them. I will jump in there and see if I can keep up with the craziness for that period of time. Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal approved in another country. New Zealand gives it a thumbs up. When are you going to join the cool kids, Sean? When?
I think it's on its way. So while we're waiting for the acquisition to be approved in the UK, it's been announced that New Zealand have given it the green light and full 2 thumbs of approval. They said, and quote, "With today's approval from New Zealand, we're cleared to move forward with our acquisition of Activision Blizzard in 41 different countries. We will continue to work to resolve outstanding concerns and bring this deal to a close." So yeah, it's it's rolling. It's there.
What the last sentence really says is what they when if you erase the politically correct PC PR version, it says we're just trying to get the British snobs to give us a freaking thumbs up so that we can close this damn thing. That's what it really says. We just lost half our audience. I'm sorry. That's on me. I'm just kidding. I love y'all. So yeah, Discord is getting a huge new feature on Xbox consoles. I'm really excited about this. I'm excited about it. I'm also not entirely certain how we use it, but you can now stream what you're playing straight to Discord. So
Yep. And not
sure.
only can you stream what you're playing straight to Discord, but people who watch can also pop in and out of the voice chat, I believe.
Oh, really? Wow, that's really cool. I should have known that because they're doing the Discord thing. I mean, it already is native on Xbox. So yeah, can you stream
I'm super
from
excited
Discord?
for this because I don't think you can stream from Discord itself to like YouTube or Twitch, but just the fact that like you can announce to people, hey, look, I'm playing this game for the first time, and rather than having to try and do it to Twitch or YouTube, where you can meet some toxicity. I mean, we've had random people jump in and
that we have
here in Twitch. We haven't had any of that yet at YouTube, which is always nice. But the fact that you can do it to a trusted following or a trusted server, a group of friends. So yeah, I mean, I assume you could capture the screen of somebody's stream to Discord and then forward that on to a streaming service like Twitch or YouTube for them if you wanted to have like a moderator for your stream. If you weren't able, like for the likes of me, I could stream to a Discord server and then you could just pick that up and put an overlay on it and push it out to Twitch. So it'd look a little bit nicer. But yeah, I think it's a great feature, and it's nice that Xbox and Discord are working so closely together, and it's going to be exciting to see what they do in the future with stuff.
Yep. Yeah, we used it. When did we use it? We played a game together and used it. Was it with Redfall where we did it?
Yeah, it was Redfall.
Was it? Okay, yeah. I knew
and
we were playing
Minecraft Stories.
Oh, yeah, Minecraft Stories. Yep. We're in that game. I was like, Sean, I got to call. I'll be right back. And then like an hour and a half later, I was like, sorry, Sean, I never came back.
So, I mean, I've used it before. One of my dad's Call of Duty friends was banned from using in-game chat in the game and party chat on the Xbox.
Naughty.
Yeah, we use Discord.
So that is our top stories and news bulletins. Now on to our feature story, which is Starfield is 26 days out, 22 for us early releasers. We just thought we'd have a little chat about what we are excited for, what we want to try first, how we're playing, all that fun stuff. So let's just start at the beginning. Sean, what are you most excited for with Starfield?
The exploration side of it, if I'm completely honest, the fact that there's a vast universe within the game to get around all the different planets. Like, how are they going to affect the way you move? Like, what different animals you're going to encounter? What kind of stuff are you going to have to harvest? That's the side of it I'm most excited for. And then following off that is the spaceship side of things. How many different spaceships can you have? How well can you make them work together? And then how the space flight works.
I really thought the first thing you were going to say is space pirate, because you were pretty all about the space pirate thing. I thought you'd just be like, all I want to do is space pirate. That's what I'm most excited for.
Well, that becomes part of the exploration.
Sure, that's true. That's accurate. I'm what am I most excited for? Man, There, I don't even know. I'm really excited about this game. You better live up to my expectations. Probably space flight is something I really want to see. I also really want to like dig into the economy that the game has built with this, like, you can make these, I don't know, these resource habit ha- habitats or whatever, I don't know, that you can grow, and they can like make resources for you, and you can sell them, and like I love that stuff. Like that's my jam with game, like the city builder games. I love finding out like how the economy works and exploiting it and making money and doing all that fun stuff. So like that might seem lame to some people, but that really is something that excites me. But so that's probably what I'm one of the things I'm most excited for, and then the other one is spaceflight. I wanna see how this spaceflight feels, and maybe if I'm really lucky, maybe they'll use my Thrustmaster. That'd be fantastic if they
That would be a
that'd
nice
be pretty
addition
cool.
if they
Yeah,
could do that.
yeah. Do that Xbox. Love it.
Um, Things that we want to try first. So I'm going to assume the tutorial for this game and the beginning mission is going to be a little bit of a slog
Oh yeah.
because you have you've got the whole. Well, we skip the appearance thing because you don't actually see a face, or as far as I'm aware, you don't see a face.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
So
No, I think they showed you doing a character
so
builder.
you've got the whole character customization because then all you've got the traits and stuff like that. Yeah, I remember now. So you've got all the different traits that you have to pick and choose. And then you'll have like um the usual like use this to walk, use this to jump, use this to crouch, use this to boost, do this. Then there'll be like basically like a space. I can imagine a space cadet style training scenario where like you have to like clear these platforms and do this and take out these bits and pieces. So after all that's done, and it kind of then just kind of lets you loose. If you've got a spaceship, of course, for this bit, the first thing I'm doing is I am taking off. I am gone. I am out into the stratosphere and straight into space and being like, right,
Mm-hmm.
what's the coolest looking planet I can see within like my field of view? That's where I'm headed, and away we go.
Yep. Yeah. I that's what I want to do. I just want to get in space. I want to get in space and feel how and see how that feels, and the flying and all that jazz. And then I'll probably shoot something that I shouldn't and probably get killed right away. Um, but that's what I want. That's what I want to try. That'll be the first thing that I want to do, and I'll probably be frustrated. I won't lie, because I'll be like the tutorial keeps going and going. I just want to go do my own thing. Leave me alone. But hopefully they've figured out how to make that fun. Have you seen Mo Spankin's question in here?
I have, yeah. I
I
am
love this.
massively prepared for the amount of penis and vagina style looking spaceships that are going to be there.
Well, our listeners are
And the fact
confused now.
that
Hold
you,
on.
sorry, yeah, he says, how many not suitable for work ship builds are you ready to see? Because if Tears of the Kingdom has taught us anything, it's just going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine if you can dock two ships together, that somebody out there with all their skills and techniques of building stuff is going to make a penis shaped spaceship that could dock with a female shaped spaceship. And that's just what I'm ready for that. I am so prepared, and I will sit and I will laugh and I
Yeah.
will probably share it.
Yeah,
Just
I don't take this game serious enough to like be offended by it. I think it'll be hilarious, and yep, I cannot wait for all the things that show up on X. That'll just be absolutely ridiculous and funny and great, and I'm down for all of it. Yeah, most
to be
weekend says
fair-
my body is ready. Yep,
yeah,
that is correct.
that's what
Give
she
me
said.
all, give me all the ridiculous things. It'll be fantastic.
Yep.
I mean, they were setting us up for it when they made the robot ship or whatever it was in the direct that took off. I mean, the moment they did that, they were basically like, "Hey guys, you can get really creative. So you know, I mean, they know how the internet works. I mean, you give them freedom, they're gonna make a penis. There's no, I mean, that's just how the internet works. I don't know why. It's just is
All you
what it
gotta do
is.
like you said, Tears of the Kingdom. That people were making giant wooden statues with
Mm-hmm.
faces and genitalia that could spurt fire. So
It's just fantastic. People are amazing, and as long as you're doing it in jest and fun, hey, I'm here for it. I'm like you said, I'm down for all the videos. So yeah.
Captain Johnson flying through space.
It's totally gonna be. It's gonna be somebody's like name the ship that. Probably like put that on the side. It would be fantastic.
SS Phallus.
It's a good. Oh man. You know, was that not one? Oh, it's not one question. How are we? Okay, your next question. How are we playing? With
Yep.
with two thumbs. Just kidding. What?
Different. Well, for me is this a game that will get Becca's approval to play in front of the kids?
No, not at all. But that's okay because the
No.
kids are back in school, so that's less of a problem.
This is why I ask, because then like if it is something that you got the approval for, then you could like it's open to play and the kids could be like, oh yeah, and be around while you're doing it.
Nope. That is. I mean, I wouldn't even ask on this one. I was a little surprised I didn't get TOTK approval, which really killed my my ability to be able to get that done. But yeah, no, there's no way I'm getting that here. But that's like I said, that's fine. The kids will be back in school. I'll just rock it out.
Yeah. See, for me, I think it's the 7th they go back. It's either the 6th or the 7th. So, which is why I'm just vetoing the early access, because I wouldn't get full use out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But that then said, I can't see anything in the game that's gonna be harrowing for them to not see.
Yeah. So wait. Let me say this. I mean, so like you could probably show your kids the game. If you show your kids the game, that's great. That's on you. You be your own parent. You do your own thing. I wouldn't at all judge if you did, if you let them play it, whatever. I don't care. It's just, I know my wife. She is very like, no guns at this age. No, nothing like that. Like it's just kind of where she's at on that spectrum, and I've given her the ability to do what she wants. So I'm not judging anybody that does whatever they want to do. I want to make that very clear. I just know where my wife stands on this. So,
yeah, and this is where like there is certain like I wouldn't play. I'm sat here with Quake. I wouldn't play Quake in front of the kids because it is a violent-y style game. But there's aspects of Starfield and that I'd be happy for them. It's like if I'm just flying through space, going from planet to planet, harvesting stuff, it's like Animal Crossing in space. It's nothing like that. But if I know I'm going to be doing some form of space pirating and things that could cause distress, I probably wouldn't do it in front of the kids.
To be honest,
the younger too, anyway.
Okay, so listeners, we've squirreled here. Okay, so we're just gonna like, let me just be real honest. So to be honest, I effed up. Like, I just was like, hey, watch this. And I didn't watch the trailer first, and so I was like, "Hey, Becca, watch this," and we'll just do whatever. And it was the one where it like shows him and Zelda walking down the stairs, and the zombie thing's like, and Becca's like, "Nah, I'm out on this." And I was like, yeah, I didn't know that was this one, I guess. And so like the zombies, like and so that chose the wrong trailer, to be honest. That's what I'm saying. I should have chose the cuter trailer with the dad that's like learning how to like make the boat. Probably would have got past it if I would have done that, but I didn't do that. That's on me. So okay, squirrel over. We're back to
squirrel
Starfield.
over, yeah. But that's how we're playing. Nick's going early access, shutting himself in the basement and playing it. I'm probably, I don't know. I've got some time to gauge this, so I say some time. It's currently the 11th in the UK, so I've got 20 days to gauge this.
So. Friday the 1st, I will not be going to work. That's just it. will not be going
Yep.
to work. In fact, not only will I not be going to work because Sean knows that my phone can just, like, many people have my phone number, and will ruin a good plan pretty quick. I will probably shut my phone off and just be like, you know what? I'm out of pocket. So, yeah, I really don't want anybody to call with some like, all right, we really need you in the office, Nick. Sorry. So, yep, I was probably gonna be like, shut it off and bury myself in Starfield. And if anybody's wondering, I'm probably not streaming it because I really want to just enjoy this. I don't want to have to try to, be like focused on I love y'all, but I just want to I want to veg on the couch and not think about trying to be engaged with the audience or anything like that, and just get sucked into
this game has been over 18 months late, so nobody's going to be like, look, you have to do this for us. We know how long you've been waiting for this and how excited you've been.
So yep, that's my plan. And if it sucks, just keep an eye on my X feed because you'll be the first to know.
This brings me to my next two questions. Have you got any early access worries? A lot of people are like saying, "Oh, you're going to work into network bug, but like issues and glitches, game issues and glitches."
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Do I have an early access worry? That's not really my worry. If the early access goes south, it could just be early access, but I really get the feeling that the whole thing will be south. I do have like this little kernel of like, it's this little kernel of Xbox falling short on so many games this generation. So that little kernel does sit there and be like, don't let this be one of them. You have said 1,000,000 times that this isn't one of them. Please be true and don't let this be one of them. But yeah, there's, a little kernel back there of worry of like, man, I don't even want to think about how I'll like, I mean, I'm a growing man. This is just a game. I'm a pretty level-headed dude. I will be the first to admit this is just a game. But more of like my trust with Xbox as a company, if this isn't what they say it is, would be pretty blowing. I'm not gonna lie. So, but anyways,
it would be the third Bethesda game where they haven't fully delivered, because you had Fallout 4 issues.
That's true. Like not by issues, people. I mean, like I literally couldn't move forward. I would have had to delete my save and start over. So those kind of issues.
We had Redfall not completely delivered. I mean, we still enjoyed the game, but it didn't deliver on what it said it was.
Yeah.
So if this did the same, that's 3 blows. For me, that's 3 strikes. And I'm one for like films, music bands, brands, anything really. I'll give it 3 opportunities to deliver on something, and if it doesn't, I will openly not use that brand ever again.
Yeah, I don't know if I could say that, but, and I mean, I expect, it's a big game. I expect there to be like, I mean, if we got TOTK type polish, I'd be blown away. Like, just to be honest, like, I mean, I would love that to be the case, but I'm not really expecting that, if I'm going to be really honest here. That, I don't know. If they get close to that kind of polish, then I will be completely happy and slightly blown away. So I just don't want to freeze.
That's all I kind of wanted to say in terms of stuff. Yeah. We've got some time away from it. I think we podcast like the week of release, and then again 2 or 3 days after.
Yeah,
we'll double check the calendar.
Yeah, I think if I remember, we looked it up. We will be
the 7th. So yeah, it's either the 7 days after early release, and then obviously the day after release. So
yeah,
7th of September. Expect us both to talk nothing other than Starfield.
Yeah, nothing other than Starfield, but also like we also won't talk anything more than the first 30 minutes or so. We won't spoil anything for anybody. That's the last thing we want to do. So we might have a spoiler cast, but it will be very well titled, or you'll know what you're getting into if you listen to it.
It will be a special.
It'll be a special for sure.
It'll be a special episode.
Yeah, 100%. All right, well, that's our feature story. Man, we are excited for Starfield and can't wait for it to get here, and hoping above hopes that it delivers. But moving on to our dashboard. Mr. Sean Abbott, what have you been playing, my friend?
So I've still been hitting Pikmin 4 pretty hard. I will admit that any time that I've had to play has been poured into Pikmin 4. The fact that I can pick this up and play handheld has helped that massively. I'd say I'm at around the 30-hour mark. I rolled credits roughly around the 27-hour mark. But then, like, you open up a whole new area, and there's the rest of the story to do post the credits. So
nice.
I won't say much more on that. You have just started it, so you're now going through the heavy chat bit at the beginning.
Oh my gosh,
it does ease off.
That's good.
Just takes its time to ease off. The bit that bugged me with the talking is at the end of every mission day, there was a scene with the SS Beagle in the background, and you just talking between all the crew, and sometimes it'll be stuff that's relevant to what you did in that day, and then other times it's just there for comical value. And it's
but is it comical?
But you can skip that.
But see, you can't, because that's the problem. Like, if it's just comical, but you're like, well, but sometimes it'll be pertinent to the mission or the whatever, and then it's like, well, now I don't know if it's pertinent or if I can skip it. Like, even if it's only like 20% pertinent, I never know when the 20% is going to come.
By mission day 22, I was skipping it every time.
Well, yeah, okay, all right, I get you.
Because I was just fed up. So I'd be like, I'd have got to the end of the day and not been able to fully complete all the tasks that I'd gone to set out for that day. So I'd be like, hurry up, because I want to go back into where I was, because I need to finish off what I was doing, because it's important that I get that bit back. So.
Oh, that's cool. Anything new you want to add about Quake 2 that we talked about a little bit, but
I finished the first level. Like I said earlier, it's great. I loved this one originally. Quake 2 and Quake 3 were the two good ones for me. I didn't play much of Quake 4, but it's like, nostalgia wise, I remember the first level like the back of the hand. So like went around, got all the secrets, unlocked all the secret rooms, unlocked the secret level in the first level. Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's a 2 gigabyte download, so it's not huge. It's still running on I think it's still running on the Quake engine. It's just been tuned up.
Nice. Anything else? What are you hoping to play? If that's all, what are you hoping to play now?
I've got 3 nights ahead of me now, so I'm hoping to get the last bit of Pikmin 4 finished. And then probably won't be a right lot else. I mean, I finish nights Monday morning. I could get Tuesday, Wednesday.
So you're gonna play life, adulting. You're gonna play adulting. Sounds fun. Okay, that happens.
Tuesday, we're taking the kids to a theme park, like the smaller ones to a smaller person's theme park. So I kind of get Wednesday to myself in terms of there's no giant plans for that yet, but that could soon change. School holidays is that period of time where I don't play much Xbox, because the kids, we only have the one TV.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally get that. That's why, like I said, kids are going back, so I'll be streaming more and playing more, and that'll be great. For me, actually, it is about the kids, but really, like, I play a lot at night when Beck's waking up at 6:30 in the morning during school, or 6 in the morning really during school, and so she's going to bed early. So I'm like, okay, I'll play since you're going to sleep. But in the summer, she's not going to sleep. She's not waking up early, so she is up really late, and so that's what impedes my time. We finished. Noah and I finished Pikmin 3. That great, man, how fun. Also, in that game, you have to run the enemy around while you figure out all the other like challenges, like all the other pieces that you got to do and everything like that. How difficult is that when you're by yourself? Because that's what I told Noah. I was like, this seems super difficult when you're by yourself. Like, I had Noah's job was to run the baddie around while I figured out all the things that I had to do. Like turning on the lights and doing all that stuff.
Very frantic.
Yeah, I cannot imagine.
Pikmin 4 has simplified that a lot by the fact that you can carry the Pikmin on the back of the dog.
Sure.
Because that was the issue I was having with Pikmin 3. Is you were not only were you running around trying to run the enemy, but you were also trying to herd the Pikmin constantly.
Yeah, so you gotta keep one thing away. You gotta keep in front of the bad guy and make sure you're trailing him, or make sure he's far enough away from you, but yet keep him away from all the other things that you need to do, which was pretty easy for us because Noah found like a little circle that he could run the guy in. But if I was by myself, I would have to be flipping back and forth between those two guys, like running him and then flipping back and trying to do the thing and then flipping back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be so much harder by myself. Like I mean, a ton harder. So anyways, we beat that game and enjoyed it and loved it. I will say we started Pikmin 4. We've only got a couple hours in, and we were talking about it post-show or pre-show. As much as I can see all the advancements in Pikmin 4, the one thing that there is not an advancement in, or even a parody of with what's in Pikmin 3 Deluxe, is co-op. And that is really a bummer for the way our journey, Noah and I's journey, has lent into Pikmin 3. Like, we really enjoyed that as a way to go. And yes, there's the Pebble Pitcher, but when your kid's like 10, you know, you're like, he's like, man, I was playing Pikmin. Like, I was, herding Pikmin, sending them out to do stuff, fighting baddies right next to me. Like I just said, like, I mean, he was legitimately helping me win. Not like, oh yeah, thanks. Good job, buddy. And so to now just be like, and I told him, I was like, I'll be second sometimes. You can be first so we can go back and forth. But yeah, it's just not the same. And it's not as much fun as a co-op game when you're the Pebble Pitcher. Sorry.
Yeah.
The name still is funny to me. So yeah, I asked him, I was like, do you want to keep playing it with me? And he said, yeah, he wants to see the end of it. And so he's like, yeah, we'll play it. But yeah, it's just a big, like, it just was like a wet blanket on the like excitement of the game when we realized, and I kind of knew you had I was hoping maybe, I opened from hopes that maybe something was there that you hadn't seen yet, since you were like, yeah, I think it's just you pitching stones, but I haven't really played it. And I was like, hoping maybe something was different, but no, you're 100% right. You're just pitching stones. And it's
and I mean,
great.
When the fact that there's the little dog involved, why they didn't give the second player the ability to have the use of the dog, I don't know. They definitely missed a beat on that one.
Yeah, they did. I mean, out of everything that's great in that game, that does feel like something where they were kind of like, let's just get it out. Why don't we just put a Pebble Pitcher thing in there? That's real easy. We'll just have, we can just connect the second screen and hit X, and a scope comes up and he can just throw things. And it's like, I don't know. Not only does it seem lame, it feels lame. It's just like, where's the pebbles even coming from? Like who's, like, I don't know. So it looks pretty. I think they've done some great things with it. I think it'll be a fun story, but that's just a real step back. Out of all the step forwards, that one's a step back. And it probably doesn't affect many people, but it's how we came from Pikmin 3 and entered into Pikmin 4 that really is a spotlight for Noah and I. So that's all I'll say on those two things. I finished Venba. As I thought it was short, and it was. I told you in the last podcast, I was like, I think I'm pretty close, and I was pretty close. That night I was like, yep, check that one off the box.
Yeah,
Grim is
I think I was still awake when you sent that as well.
yeah. Great. It is an absolute great game. We were talking about Pikmin with chat and superfluous chat that you don't really need. Venba is just the opposite. It is the quintessential of giving you just what you need. It doesn't feel like it's rushing the story, but it also doesn't feel like it's sitting there trying to fluff the story. It's perfect in that sort. And that's just absolutely great. I think I would love to see a little more fleshing out of the memories to food aspect when you're making dinners and stuff like that. And I also think Mist Boat was not when you master a dish is not having like a section that gives you the finished recipe, like a legit recipe to make this. I don't know, maybe not everybody would do it. If it was simple enough, like if I could find the ingredients, I very much would be like, sure, I'll try. Yeah, that looks fun. Let me try to make that, you know. So I think bringing what they're trying to show their players, and then on a digital platform, and then bringing it into real life would have been amazing. Chicory, older game on Game Pass, but still available. It's been out for a while now. Chicory, I'm playing that with my daughter. I've been playing Pikmin with my son, and she's kind of been like, hey, Dad, you know, like, I'm here. And but she doesn't really want to play Pikmin, and so I said, hey, I think I got a game just for you. Again, I've been holding it back because I knew it was possibly an aerial game, and so you're this guy that I can't remember what he's called, but he's like the color person, and he has a brush, and he like disappears, and so you're given the brush, and you have to run around and do some quests and color certain things certain ways, and if you color some things some ways, it'll let you pass, and so it's like a environmental puzzler narrative game, all done with a paintbrush. But a player 2 can jump in and help out with the paintbrush and basically do all the paintbrush stuff. So really, all I do is run the guy around, and then Ariel takes care of painting stuff and doing all that. And we're having a good time. We've put about 3 hours into it. It's a shorter game, 7 to 8 hours. So if you have somebody like I do, my daughter, she doesn't want to play a Pikmin, which might be frantic or, you know, kind of like, where's the Pikmin? Did I lose the Pikmin? She doesn't want to do that. But something like this, she absolutely digs. So if you got that kind of kiddo in the household, then that might be something to think about. Still playing Wandering Village. We'll see. I will be moving on to it for the Airborne game. So we'll see if I move on to that one or if it's not my jam and I come back to Wandering Village. But that game is a fun, chill game. Unless you're not prepared for the biome, and then you just watch your people die, and then it doesn't feel as chill. But you know, but there's logistics involved, and for the most part, it is a pretty chill game. The last thing I've been playing, Disney Illusion Island. I've been excited about this game. I don't know if it's available on Xbox. I haven't looked it up, but I'm playing it on Switch. Playing it with my mom, my daughter, my son, and myself. And we're all a character. I'm Mickey, and my daughter's Minnie, and my mom is Goofy, and Noah's Donald, and we're running around. It's very Metroidvania. Like, you know, you pass a bunch of stuff that you can't do, which is fun. Because I'm teaching everybody in my party about Metroidvania, really, to be honest. Like, my mom's doesn't usually play that type of a game. Noah hasn't played a real Metroidvania type game, so everybody's like, well, no. The first time we ran into something that we couldn't do, and I was like, okay, there's no way to reach that. We have to get to the next thing. My mom's like, no, I think you just need to jump higher. Well, try again. I was like, Ma, I don't think we can do that. I think, no. And she's like, she was so adamant. She's like, no, just try jumping higher. Can you press the button longer? And I'm like, Mom, I think this is a game where you got to like go past it, get an ability, and then come back. And she's like, I don't know. I don't think so. Just try to jump higher. And I'm like, okay, this is not how this goes. I promise you. Like, I'm pretty sure I get the vibe of this game. And so then we did find a double jump type thing, and we were able to come back, and she's like, oh, and then everybody kind of started to fall in. So it really is kind of like learn how a Metroidvania works. Like, there's no fighting. You can die. But if you die, it's just like your job is to platform over and around things. And so if you die, it's just because you jumped in it. You can't kill enemies or anything like that. And there's when you start the game, there's 3 different levels of hearts you can choose from. So you can basically have a heart to where you can never die, or you can have 1, 2, or 3 hearts. It has a upgrade system where the more of this item you get, you can upgrade and get more and more hearts. Really cool if somebody gets left behind, kind of like the Mario games. Instead of a bubble, they get taken to an envelope. If you die, you just get taken to the next mailbox checkpoint, and your envelope is waiting there for your people to like open up your envelope. The post boxes the mailboxes are pretty often, so that's pretty forgiving. I can't say enough about this game. I mean, if you got kids that like games, introduce them to this. I love it. I will say the story is a bit jumbled. Sometimes a little like I don't really remember what we're doing. Like I don't even know. We're trying to find these tomes, and I don't remember what tome we're even on. But we're having a lot of fun jumping around and just letting the kids be like, hey, let's do this. Another thing is, too, my daughter sometimes doesn't like when I'm like, okay, you're just going to have to be in an envelope, like she wants to, and because she's like, no, I want to like figure out how to do it. So there's another method. You can press down and Y, and you'll drop a rope. And so instead of me just being like, sis, there's nothing I can do. Like, you're just going to have to be in an envelope. If she can't make a jump or is having trouble, I just do that, a rope drops, and it doesn't feel like I'm just moving on without you. You're just going to have to envelope to me. Instead, it's like, hey, I'm helping you out by giving you a rope. And so I have not ever seen that in a video game of like another method to help out your players. And I think it's really cool. So if you got kids, especially maybe younger kids, this is something that you might want to look into. We're having a lot of fun. It's only like, I think 9-10 hours all in. I think we're on the second tomb already. We played quite a bit on Friday and quite a bit on Sunday as well. So we're probably only got about 3-4 hours left. So anyways, that was a lot.
I just looked it up, and this is a Nintendo exclusive only.
Okay, thanks. Yeah. So sorry if you're an Xbox only person. I just talked about a Nintendo exclusive for a really long time. But if you have a Switch, man, and you got younger kids, I mean, look into it.
Yeah, well,
sure.
the fact that you said it's Metroidvania, which just literally made me think, I'd probably like this game without the kids. So
yeah, and so it's a bit of a collectathon, to be honest. Like, it's a bit of like you find that, but it's fun if you're a Disney fan too. If you like the old school, you get different relics from the different movies, and the movies go all the way back to like the first, like Mickey as a wizard, and Mickey on the train. Yeah.
Oh, Fantasia.
Yeah. So it goes all the way back there, and you get little relics that go to that movie. And once you get all 3, it unlocks some facts about the movie and stuff like that, and tells you when it was done. And so, it's got that. But yeah, I think it's great. It's everything I had hoped it would be. Let me just say that. So,
which is always good. Always good at a game.
Yeah, exactly. And so hopefully next week I'll be able to tell you more about Airborne Kingdom and Broforce Forever. I really want to try both of those. So, and Sean can talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No, that's not next week. That's we've got.
It's not
the week after that.
Oh, no, it's the 18th. So isn't it the 18th? I don't know. Whatever. I'll give up.
Yeah, it's the 18th for the 8th course.
Yeah.
Ever Space 2 is the 15th.
Yep. You're right. So yeah, so it won't be until 2 podcasts from now. My bad. So that is our dashboard. It looks like we have a party chat question really here. I haven't had a chance to really read it from Mo Spankins. Sir Spankins is what we're going to call him. So let's head over to the party chat, and we will chat about that.
It's party time! Woohoo! Oh yeah!
So Most Bacon says, opinion of a possible digital-only Series X, presumably at a lower price point and maybe having 3 consoles on the market. The fate of the 500 gig Series S with the carbon black 1 terabyte model coming. And do you guys do more digital, physical, or just Game Pass? Okay, there's a lot there. Let's start with the bottom. Let's take the bottom.
Hope to see a digital only Series X.
Let's start at the top.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find this question. I shut the Twitch page down.
Oh, gotcha.
Just because things had gone a bit quiet, and I was having some computer related issues. So
I understand. So you said you do not want a digital only Series X. Is that what you said?
No, I wouldn't expect to see one. Just purely because it's a great media platform, and there's no reason to have a digital only version of that, because the Series S, for what it's worth, can do pretty much everything that the Series X can. I mean, graphically, it's not quite there. I think there's only a very moderate in terms of for what you can see playing it on a home PC, like a home TV, right? If you've got it stuck to a 120 frames per second monitor, then obviously you're going to start seeing a difference. But I wouldn't see a difference on the TV that I'm using. But I wouldn't want to lose the ability to be able to play Blu-ray, because it sits behind there as my media center.
Yeah, so it's your Blu-ray player as well, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ow. Sorry. From the mountain biking today, being sat cross-legged for a while has took its toll on my legs. So that's why I'm fidgeting around a lot.
So let me say, I think a digital-only Series X... So then there'd be 3 on the market. So then the 500 gigabyte Series S would have to go. We can't have the 500 gigabyte, the 1 terabyte, the Series X, the Series X physical. Like, it's just too much. So the 500 gig would have to go. And I think the 500 gig is going to go anyways, probably by sometime next year. I really do.
Yeah, because that'd be 4 consoles on the market then.
Yeah,
you'd have the white S, the black S, the full X, and the digital X. So that's 4 consoles. I think anybody that was wanting to buy into the Series S or the Series X, I wouldn't go for the white one now. For the Series S, I would go straight to the 1 terabyte, because the biggest issue you have with that is the storage space. You are constantly talking about how you're having to get rid of this game and this game to make way for this game. And the plug-in hard drive, like expansions and stuff like that, still aren't priced enough to warrant that. But I mean, second-hand wise, there'll probably be plenty on the market. So
yeah, that's true. I should look that up. I should see what the cost, what like Facebook is selling a Series S for on Marketplace right now. That would be interesting. I don't see enough of a need for it. So the Series X right now is $499. Is that correct? I believe.
I mean, sorry, the Series S is £150. So
yeah, but the Series X is $500. Is $500, right? Or close in pounds.
On Facebook Marketplace, just look really quickly then for a Series S in a box, like almost brand spanking new, looking barely being touched, was £150. Which is fair deal. Like that is you're getting a great system for not very much money.
Yeah, that's a banger of a deal. Yeah. Dang, I don't know. So what do you think? I know for you wouldn't care. You wouldn't buy it. But what do you think the price would have to be for a digital Series X for somebody to be interested? Like how much lower do you have to go?
What they're at now?
So,
$799. So you'd have to knock 100 off.
at least, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be
'Cause you-
$399.
and it's not because you're losing the ability to play physical purchases, but you're also losing the ability to play any of your back catalog of games that you've got as a physical purchase, because then you're going to have to repurchase them again because there's no code system yet for that. You lose the media center ability, so you can't put your CDs in to listen to music. You can't put your DVDs to watch like kids films, because I know a lot of people don't buy kids films Blu-ray. And there's still a lot of kids films that are on streaming services, and you lose the whole Blu-ray ability, which, like, I have the Marvel collection on Blu-ray. As much as it's out there on Disney Plus, I'd rather stick the disc in and have it play in Ultra HD that way, because you've got all the optional extras where you can like watch all the bloopers and stuff like that. So, which I do that with most films. So yeah, you'd have to, new out the box from Xbox, it'd have to be 100, at least 100 lower than the current one.
And you couldn't go much more than 100 lower, because so right now you'd have the white S at $299, the black S at $359, the digital X at $399, and then the regular X at $499. So that's about as. But I do agree. So the only thing you could do next year, if storage became lower, if storage costs dropped, which unlikely, but if they did, maybe somewhere in holiday of next year you could lower like the black S to $299, and then $399 for a digital X, and then $499 for a physical X. But what would be the point of that? Well,
yeah, and this loops me back around to that. I can't see the point for it, because you'd have 4 consoles on the market that can all do very similar things with very minor differences, albeit the Series S differences is huge. 500 gigabytes is a huge amount of storage extra. It's like 2 Call of Duties nearly. So that is a lot. But to lose the disk drive between having a disk drive and not having a disk drive, for some people, isn't much of a difference. But to have 4 consoles on the market spread across 250 in price across them all is going to be too much choice. You're going to give people too much choice paralysis. They aren't going to know what they want to do. So it's like you said, you're going to have to remove the white S and do that. But then also, why would you make a 1 terabyte digital console and then a 1 terabyte digital console?
Yeah, I agree. Here's what I personally think is going to happen. I do think next year, holiday or around, they will get rid of the Series S, the white S, and they will only have the black one at $299. And maybe it won't only be black, but whatever, it'll only be the 1 terabyte version for $299. I think that will happen. And maybe you'll see a drop in the X. I think that's what I would be more apt to do than a digital only X. I think there are too many the gamers that are like, listen, X or bust, are the gamers who are also like, listen, I want my physical media option or bust. So I think the market gets very slim for a gamer who says, I really want 4K, but I'm okay with not having a disk drive. I think that is too slim of a market to make a SKU for. So yeah, for that purpose, I don't think it makes much sense. I think, like I said, I think you'll see a drop in holiday 2024, maybe $50 on both consoles, which will ditch the S, the white S altogether. They won't go to 2 whatever. They'll just ditch it, and at that point they'll just have the 2 again. And yeah, that's what I think they'll do.
So, and for the later parts of the questions, Nick is mainly, well, he's all digital when it comes to this.
I don't got no option.
So, but for me, it depends on the game. So if it's a game I know I'm going to come back to again and again and again, like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, I have them on the X. I have them digital because I know they're just games that if I've got nothing else I want to play, which is not very often now thanks to Game Pass, I'll go and I'll just play like half an hour, 45 minutes of those. I love the soundtrack, I love the gameplay, easy enough. So, but like for games physical wise, like Elden Ring, that was a very smart choice to make as a physical copy. Hogwarts was physical. Both the Tom Clancy's, they're physical. Riders Republic, that was a physical game, which I'm actually considering going and purchasing that digitally at the moment because it's making some waves again in terms of like what additional content is currently downloaded. It's currently got available. And in terms of like, do I play more than just Game Pass games? Yes, definitely. I definitely play more than just Game Pass games. My go-to games when bored is EA Skate Sessions, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and Resident Evils, which are all not on Game Pass. So.
Sans Game Pass. I'm mostly Game Pass, so if there's a big enough release and I'm super into it, I really want to try it out. So Elden Ring was a sad choice for me, but I did want to try it out. I didn't know if I'd like it. I didn't. But I didn't know if I would, so I bought that one. And then Hogwarts Legacy, great choice for me. So 2 years in a row, I've bought one game for Xbox. One was not a great choice for me, and one was a fantastic choice. To this day, to date this year, I know this is probably like an atrocity for my Nintendo fans, but it still is probably my game of the year, Hogwarts Legacy.
Just a fair cop. It was a good game. So one I need to go back and finish.
Yeah, you do. Man, I don't have any games that I should go back and finish, Sean, so I don't know. Jeez. I can't believe it. Except for Tears of the Kingdom, maybe.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question, Mo Spankins. Appreciate it. That's a show.
That is a show. It is 1:30 in the morning, and I am well, like my watch and my phone, which are both on 3%. I am out of battery.
Everything's out of battery over there. Go to bed.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for listening. Our social media pages over on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube are all at Game Pass News. You can also find me and Nick on X, at Nick Tendo and at Sean _Abbott. If you ever want to get in touch with just us and avoid the Game Pass News, you can email us at gamepassnewscast@gmail.com. We like getting mail. It's fun, gives us something to read, gives us something to talk about. If you're listening to this via your podcasting app, please give us some stars or leave us a review. That's always helpful. If you want to get in touch with us via Discord, we can get you access to the little corner of the internet that we live in by subscribing to our Twitch channel. If you want any of our cool merchandise, head over to redbubble.com and you can get us there at Game Pass News. Thanks very much, Mo Spankins, for joining for the first time in the chat. You dropped some pretty good bangers in terms of points and questions. And until next time, guys, we shall see you later.
See you later, guys.